Your home athletic development session for this block remains the same as the previous block. However, we would like you to challenge yourself a little bit further by increasing the number of sets you're completing or moving to repeated sets if you're currently doing alternating sets. You can also challenge yourself further by trying harder variations or simply by performing better movements. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's session. This is going to be an athletic development session that we would like you to perform alongside your 2 pitch sessions. The format of today's session is going to be a warm-up, which will involve stability and mobility exercises, followed by a strength and power unit, and then we're going to finish up with a cool down. So to kickstart this, we're going to work on the breathing control exercises and the core bracing exercises that you now should be familiar with. And once you finish that, we're going to move on to an inchworm series. So Jake's going to demonstrate this here for us today. You're going to start off in a standing position. Yeah, at the edge of the mat, nice and tall. Keeping the legs as long as possible, you're going to walk down to a push-up position. Dropping the hips towards the ground, looking up, pushing the chest out, pushing the belly button out, and then walking back to a standing position. You're going to perform that once more and then hold down in that position, and then we're going to perform the toe touch exercise that you would have performed before. Arching up, reaching back to the opposite toe, touching, back to that front stretch, and reaching to the opposite toe. We're going to do 4 in total on that, 2 to each side. Push the backside in the air, push the heels down, lengthen along the back of the legs. Once you've completed 4 reps there, we're going to move to a 1-arm press. So from push-up position, you're going to take 1 arm across the chest, push the hips in the air, trying to keep the hips aligned. Shift back to push-up position and repeat on the opposite side. Pressing the hips up, trying to get a straight line through the arm, and switching sides again. So again, 4 here, alternating right and left. So this is your inchworm series, taking through a number of exercises. You're going to finish in the front stretch and walk it back through the inchworm movement to standing position. Good. Okay, we're going to take it next to the rolling series. This is going back to exercises that we performed at the very start of the first phase, and we're going to combine these exercises here to make it a series of movements. So Jake's going to demonstrate here again for us. We're going to start off with a forward roll, so just upper body roll. And just a reminder on that, to lift the head up and follow through with the arm. So Jake's going to demonstrate here, lifting the head up, rotating across, trying not to use momentum. Again, lifting the arm up, looking towards the ceiling to rotate across. Good. You're going to do 1 in each direction here on this, and then you're going to move to the lower body roll. So Jake's just going to demonstrate this to the opposite direction. Lifting the head, pulling across, letting the legs follow. Looking to the ceiling and rolling back. Good. So that should be something that you're now quite familiar with. After 2 rolls through the upper body, we're going to do the lower body roll. So again, Jake's going to demonstrate here, but just to remind you, flex the leg towards the upper body and extend across the midline to roll. The upper body now follows. On the return, flex the knee up, and again, extend across the midline of the body. The upper body follows. 1 in each direction. And keeping that leg that's moving close to the lower leg. So you don't want that leg up in the air. Keep it controlled. Good. Okay, so Jake, do you want to move into the center here for the final one? And then you're going to finish up with the hard roll. So the hard roll exercise, if you found this difficult before, just focus on the 2 upper body roll and the lower body roll. If you're comfortable with this, do try it out. So hard roll, touching the elbow to the knee, rolling to the side with control, not using momentum, and same to the opposite side. Nice strong core on this, keep it steady. 1 to each side, and then you're going to switch the arm and leg,
and perform one more in each direction. Like I've said, if you find this a bit too difficult to control, take it back to the upper and lower body roll, do a couple extra on that. Once you're ready, progress on to this hard roll. Good. Okay, so that's your rolling series. If you want a reminder on that, you can take it back to those phase 1 instruction videos. So we're going to take it on to the crawling exercises now. Again, these are exercises from that very first phase, and we're going to combine those exercises now to make it a series of movements to get you warmed up. So Jake's going to demonstrate here. We're going to start off with the forward and backward roll on the same side movement. So right arm, right leg, and then left arm, left leg. We're going to do 4 movements forward. Keep your core engaged. And 4 backward. Keep your neck nice and strong. Don't let your head hang. We're now going to move to an opposite side crawl, so you can take that rest in between each one. Again, 4 forward. Core engaged. And 4 back. Trying to get that arm and leg moving at the same time. Again, taking a rest before we take it to a lateral movement. So we're going to do the side crawl. 4 to the right. And then return 4 to the left. Again, keeping the core engaged. Good. Okay, and for each one of those series, the inchworm, the roll series, and the crawl series, you can repeat that 2 times if you like. Do try it twice if you feel like you haven't got great control over the first round. Second time around, try influence a little bit more control. Then we're going to finish up with the single leg touchdown exercise. So Jake, I'm going to get you to take your runners off for this one. At home, do try perform this without the runners on. You'll get better grip from the foot and better stability challenge from the ankle. So, yep, wherever you're comfortable, Jake, on the mat or off. So the touchdown, single leg touchdown exercise, Jake's going to demonstrate here. You're going to balance on one leg, keeping the opposite leg close to the body. You're going to reach down towards the ground, touching the ground with both hands, and then slowly coming back up again. You can touch in front of the body, but try to stay as close to the body as possible, dropping into a squat position as you do this. That elevated leg, you want to make sure that it stays close to the body as you do this, or close to the stance leg as you're doing this, and that it doesn't stray away from the body. It doesn't come up behind, or it doesn't extend out in front. So Jake's going to demonstrate here 5 repetitions on each leg. Take your time with it. Focus on keeping the ankle, knee, and hip aligned. And you're going to perform here anywhere between 5 and 10 repetitions. If you want to swap after 5 and then come back and perform another 5, you can do that. And again, it's 1 to 2 sets on this. Again, good alignment through the ankle, the knee, and the hip. And your eyes are up throughout this movement. Good control. Good. Okay, Jake, I'm just going to get you to demonstrate from the front there, just so we can get a view of that. So just 1 or 2 repetitions on each side, just so we can see that. Good alignment from the ankle, knee, and hip. Eyes up, chest coming forward, but not dropping so much that the back is rounding out. So keeping a nice flat back and controlling that ankle, knee, and hip as much as possible. Just switch it over, 2 more reps. Nice strong foot placement, and as steady as you can make it through the ankle, the knee, and the hip. Good control on the way up too. Perfect. Okay, so 5 to 10 repetitions there, 1 to 2 sets, and that completes the stability mobility unit. We're going to take it on to the strength and power unit next. So this is the strength and power unit of the workout. We're going to perform each exercise for 8 to 10 repetitions and 3 to 4 sets. You You can perform this either through repeated sets, so one exercise for 3 to 4 sets repeated, or you can do alternating sets where you go through each exercise for one set and then go back to the first exercise through to the last for a second set, third set, and fourth set if you can. So it's up to you which format you choose. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can do your repeated sets. If you're struggling with that, you can go to alternating sets. So the first exercise that we're going to work on is the decline hip bridge. And this is quite an advanced exercise. If you're struggling with this, we can perform a double leg decline hip bridge instead of the single leg. And if you're still struggling with that, you can take it back to the mat variation with the legs down on the floor. But Jake's going to demonstrate this here for us. So on the back, you do need an elevated surface for this, nothing too high. You want to make sure that you've got about a 90-degree angle at the legs, so pushing the backside in close enough that you get that 90-degree angle. Hands down by your side, and as with any of the bridge series exercises, you're going to engage the glutes to lift the hips up in the air. So Jake's going to demonstrate here with single leg. So you're going to center one leg, lifting the opposite leg in the air and keeping it in line with the lifting leg. Slowly coming back down, dropping fully down, disengaging, and then re-engaging and lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. You're going to perform 8 to 10 repetitions here on each leg. This decline variation is going to put a lot more pressure on the hamstrings. So like I said, if you're feeling that this is a little bit too much, you can drop both legs down and perform the double leg decline hip bridge. Again, if you're finding that a little bit too difficult, take it down to the mat variation. All the exercises that you'll see in today's session are quite advanced, but if you're struggling with any of them, you can take them back to the previous variations of the exercises. So engaging through the glutes, making sure that you don't hyperextend the back as you lift up. The lift is coming from the hips, so keep your back flat throughout. And after 8 to 10 repetitions, switching over. So you want to center that lifting leg. And again, keep the opposite leg in line with the lifting leg. By doing that, you'll keep the hips nice and level. If that leg that's in the air is up too high, you'll notice a shift in the hips. If it's too low, same thing, you'll notice a drop on that side. So by keeping it in line with this lifting leg, you'll keep those hips nice and level. Make sure that you've got a good grip with this heel on whatever surface you're using. So nice and controlled, a little bit of a pause at the top, and controlled drop. Always engaging that glute for the lift. Eight to 10 repetitions each side, 3 to 4 sets. Either alternating or repeated. Okay, next exercise is going to be your Superman plank. Previously, we would have had the one arm reach plank. We would have had the leg lift plank. Now we're going to do the Superman plank, which includes a leg lift and the arm reach. So we're going to do an opposite leg and arm reach and work on controlling the core through this movement. So Jake's going to demonstrate this here, reaching out in front, keeping good control over the hips. So if you can try keep those hips as straight as possible, you'll engage the core and make the core work on controlling that rotation. So you want to keep the core and the hips nice and steady for this. Again, 8 to 10 repetitions here, good quality reps. Cut it short if you feel like you're losing control, or take a little bit of a rest and then continue the reps. This is good control here by Jake. Engaging the core before each reach. Really important that you engage that core, prepare it for that reach. If you notice that the hips are doing big rotations here, engage the core a little bit more and prepare it for that control. Good, nice control. Again, 8 to 10 repetitions, 3 to 4 sets. We're going to take it on to the lunge knee raise. In the previous block, we had included a triple extension on this exercise, where you come forward onto the front leg, raising up onto the toe, controlling that ankle, not letting it roll. We're going to progress this on to now including a hop in the exercise. If you're finding that you can't control this or your stability isn't great through the ankle, you can take it back to just that heel raise and that triple extension, work on that, and when you're ready, move on to this hop. So Jake, when you're ready, demonstrating 8 to 10 repetitions on each side, getting good activation through the glute. You can see here Jake's using a nice arm action. If that's confusing you, you can take the hands out and place them on the hips. Good, nice control here. If you do lose control, just reset and continue the rep count. Make sure you get that glute activation. So nice control here. So you can see that Jake's bringing pace into this to bring that hop in, but he's still got a nice steady control on the movement. So 8 to 10 repetitions on each side. So we're now starting to bring a little bit more aggressive movements into our workouts, a little bit more explosive, a little bit more loading onto the single leg, and now as you can see this triple extension as well. So very good to train that single leg jump that will do a lot on the football and hurling field. Good. Okay, again, 3 to 4 sets on that, 8 to 10 repetitions. If you tend to get tired on that, you can take it back to that normal lunge knee raise with the triple extension if you can. If you're too tired on that, just keep the foot flat and perform your lunge knee raise as normal. Next exercise is going to be the push-up, but I'm going to leave this up to you at home to decide what variation you're going to work on. So Jake's going to demonstrate the decline push-up for us here, but you can pick any variation that you find challenges you. We've performed the normal push-up, we performed the single leg push-up, the uneven push-up, and now, like I said, Jake's going to demonstrate the decline push-up. Find the one that challenges you most and work on it with slow control, getting the angles right. So Jake, let's just do about 5 repetitions here. Keep the core nice and strong. Your angles will be the same in terms of the hand position and arms, keeping the elbows back for any variation that you do. Jake, let's demonstrate the single leg push-up. Alternating that leg lift. Good control, bringing the whole body with you, not allowing the hips to drop and not allowing the hips to pike up in the air. Good, let's just go one more repetition here, Jake. And then I'll get you to finish with just your normal push-up. So 2 repetitions on the standard push-up. So like I said, it's up to you. Pick the variation that challenges you most. Most important thing here is keep the core nice and strong and don't let the hips to drop down or pike up. So that's your push-up variation. We're going to finish off the session then with pogo hop. So this is a new exercise. This is one you won't have performed before. So take your time with this one and just build up the technique, build up the intensity on it. So with the pogo hop exercise, we're trying to get the momentum and force production all from the ankle. So you want to keep the knees as straight as possible on this exercise. There will be a little bit of bending at the start, but as you progress with the exercise, try to get the movement coming from the ankles. So you're pressing off the ground, off the ball of your foot, and you're turning the foot up, pulling the toes up towards you on each hop. So Jake's going to demonstrate this here for us. You're going to do 8 to 10 repetitions again, 3 to 4 sets. Work on the technique each time you do it. Good. Pull those toes up towards you, Jake. Good. Okay, so you can see there, Jake had a little bit of a bend in the knee. That's normal as you start out with this exercise, but you're trying to progress onto a straighter knee, and that force absorption and production is coming from the ankles. So I'm going to get Jake to demonstrate that again. Let's face this direction so you can see from the front. And let's try get the toes up now as much as possible, and try keep the knees a little bit straighter. Good. Okay, so practice with that exercise. It takes some time to build up the technique there, and more height. So as you develop the technique, just don't focus on the height so much. As the technique comes right, then you can work on getting a little bit more height on that. So focusing on all the force absorption and production coming from the ankle. So landing on the toes, springing up, pulling the toes up towards you. So just spend some time on that one. So that's it for the strength and power unit for today's session. We're now going to take it on to the cool down. We're now going to take it onto a cool down stretch just to finish off the workout. Okay, so for the cool down stretch, you're going to hold each stretch for about 30 to 45 seconds. And you're going to flow through a routine here from standing position down onto the floor and then back up onto the feet. Okay, so Henry, we're going to just start off with a stretch for the posterior chain, so along the calves, hamstrings, glutes, into your back, and we're going to stretch through the chest as well. So I'm going to get you to take your hands behind your back, interlock your fingers, and then you're going to pull your arms back to stretch through your chest. From that position, feet pointing forward, just about shoulder width apart, you're going to hinge forward at the hips and try bring your arms up as high as you can to the ceiling. So you're pulling your hands up to the ceiling and trying to keep your legs nice and straight on this. Good, so we're going to hold here for 30 seconds on each stretch. Really pulling those arms up. And really exaggerate that pull of the chest. And as you hold this movement, try exaggerate that pull. Pulling back through the shoulders, pulling the hands towards the ceiling. Good, so just holding for another 5 seconds, really exaggerating that stretch and just using a nice slow controlled breathing pattern here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, keeping that position, Henry, bring your hands down onto the mat. Good, you're gonna walk forward, you're gonna drop onto one knee, and you're gonna bring the opposite foot forward, and we're gonna take a hip flexor stretch here. Good, so you're going to lean forward, and what you're looking for here is a nice stretch on the front of the hip. If you're not feeling that stretch, you can just walk your front foot forward a little bit more. If you're too far back, you're not going to get that stretch. So your knee here in front doesn't want to come over the toes. You're going to walk it forward and hold that stretch. Again, holding each stretch for about 30 seconds. If you can hold it for a little bit longer, you can go up to 45 seconds. Okay, let's keep that position, and we're going to take it now to the hamstring on the opposite side. So you're going to sit back, you're going to allow the toes come up towards you, and you're going to reach forward towards the foot. Okay, so as you're performing this stretch, you want to reach your hands towards the foot, but don't force the stretch and don't force any of these stretches. So just stretching to the point of tension and never pain on these movements. So you're just reaching towards that foot. If you can't reach the foot or the ankle, don't worry about it. Don't force the movement. So again, holding for about 30 seconds here, just helping these muscles to stretch out and kickstart that recovery. Good. Okay, Henry, you're going to switch legs. Opposite leg forward, you're going to push forward for that hip flexor stretch. If you're not feeling that, again, walk that front foot forward a little bit more. And just gently sitting forward. And let your torso come forward with you. You don't want to pull back on this movement. So just keep that spine neutral and hinge forward. Just trying to find that stretch on the front of that back leg. Again, using your breath, deep breaths into the nose, out through the mouth, remembering that that breath can help mobilize the joints and muscles. And sitting back for your hamstring stretch on this side. Again, reaching towards the foot, but not forcing the movement. If you can't reach the foot or ankle, just reach down along the leg as far as you can. If you find that the muscle is releasing out and you can reach a little bit further, take it that little bit further. And on each exhale, imagine that muscle relaxing. And relax. Perfect. Okay, let's face this direction for the next one, Henry. We're going to take it now to the inner thigh. Take your hands down in front. You're going to bring your left leg out to the side. Toes pointing forward.
And you're going to press back, and you should feel this stretch along the inside of the left leg. If you're struggling to find that stretch, you're just going to walk the supporting knee out a little bit wider and gently press back into it. You can rotate through the torso and sink down into it if you want to find a little bit of a deeper stretch. Feeling that, Henry? Again, about 30 to 45 seconds, and you can switch legs. Good, okay, straight leg on the stretching leg. Sit back into it, try find that stretch along the inside of the leg. Again, if you're struggling to find that stretch, you can walk the supporting knee out a little bit more, or you can rotate your torso towards the supporting knee. Again, using your breath, relax the muscles on the exhale. Good. Okay, Henry, I'll get you to bring your hands to the front of the mat again. From here, you're going to lift onto your toes. Nice straight leg position. Walk back to a standing position. Trying to keep the legs as straight as possible. And we're just going to finish off. You can stay facing that direction, Henry. We're going to finish off with a quad stretch. So you're going to keep your supporting leg nice and soft on this. I want you to reach back, grab a hold of your foot behind, and pull your heel towards your back side. Now, as you're doing this, the supporting knee staying soft to stabilize. And pulling your heel nice and close to the back side. If your knee is out here in front, you're not going to feel that stretch. So pull it back in line with the opposite leg or back beyond it if you can. Also trying not to let that knee flare out to the side. So keep it centered, keep it pulled back, and hold that stretch on the quad. Again, 30 to 45 seconds, and switch it over. Soft supporting leg. Keep that balance. If you are struggling to balance here, you can just hold on to something and get that stretch. So again, knee centered, pull it back. Try not to let it come out in front. Try not to let it come out to the side. Pull it back, stay centered, and feel that stretch on the front here on the quad. Again, using your breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And relax. Good. Okay, and that's it for our session today. Thank you very much for joining us, and looking forward to seeing you in the next session.